Hi, I'm Dave Cut, and you're watching another Comic Chat. What up, guys? Today, we were back talking about one of my favorite books, honestly. One of the most gruesome books, too, by far. Wolverine, Volume 8, and this is the Sabretooth War, Part 1. This is a two-parter. So Volume 8 and Volume 9 are the Sabretooth Wars. Let's dive in. I love the beginning, the Wolverine always shows out. But we can see from the first page, it looks like Wolverine is stalking this Sabretooth, who appears to be doing something. And the next page, we find out what he's doing is actually killing Cyclops right here. Guess he's a Biclops now. As Wolverine fails to get the jump on this Sabretooth, you find out this is actually Sabretooth from Earth 616, Victor Creed, the top dog. And you find out that this is actually the Sabretooth from Earth 33441, the camo. The killer you won't see coming. He says, you even got the scent right. No one would know it wasn't the runt. Bet your thoughts even sound like his. So, super funny. He calls him runt throughout this whole thing. You can see he's already got a pretty good army from other places. Sabretooth from Earth 203, the Cap. The Sentinel of Tyranny. Sabretooth of Earth 1912, the Savage Sabretooth. And Sabretooth from Earth 12, the Pretty Boy. Beauty and Beast in one package. So he's already getting an army together, and it looks like he's just going to different dimensions and beating people up until they join him. And that's how he's getting his army together, and then it starts pretty good. So it starts off North Pole with Black Tom and Kid Omega. Black Tom has the powers of like Poison Ivy in this world. He's got the control over the plants, the healing, and all that. A little bit deeper, but Kid Omega is actually a mutant with powers of telekinetic and telepathy and stuff like that. So here he's telling them something's going on in Krakoa, and he's going to send a team. And he's like, nah, I got this. But then you can see over here too, that's also where the Sabretooth army is going. So what could go wrong there, honestly? Oh, and they also have a bunch of flying sentinels flying around. These are called Stark Sentinels in here. If you guys have known the X-Men, they're all throughout the X-Men. And the Sabretooths get by cloaking their ship with the same tech, luckily enough, but they can sense that a powerful mutant is coming. Who's that mutant? None other than Kid Omega himself. The cavalry is here. He does, unfortunately, get hit by some kind of psionic blast that scrambles his brain for a quick second, but he sees Logan's here, but as we know, this isn't Logan, and unfortunately, Schlink, they come out and they get my boy. They got him. Not only that, but then they ate him. It's crazy, man. I told you, it's not for the faint of hearts. It says, sweet moments like this makes me happy we're family. And it's just going to town, just killing people. With a bunch of headless corpses in the back cheering, too. It's just demented, dude. Then it flashes to the North Pole, and it's Akihiro, or Dakin, or Wolverine's son. I like Dakin, though. And you see Wolverine here. He's here having a heart-to-heart with them, telling them, hey, you're my boy. I'm proud to have a family like you, like mutants, stuff like that, but pouring his heart out. And then you can see that the Sabretooth army actually shows up to where they are, about to form an attack on them. And they don't even know it yet. So they start out by hooking up this machine that seems to take out Black Tom and Sage under some trance. And you can see Laura's in here, X-23. And Wolverine shows up to have another heart-to-heart with one of his kids. And she actually has a present for him, and you find out, hey, it's his birthday. But good things don't really happen on his birthday. His birthday's kind of like that guy that Thanos fucked with. But it flashes to his son out doing what he's supposed to do, hunting out in the wild. But with his buddy, this is Fang, actually. They don't say it, but this is Fang that he's hunting with. And wow, right out the bat, dude. He's the second one to go, and there's no mercy about it. It's midnight. You know what that means. It means it's Logan's birthday, and he's gonna have to give the runt a gift he'll never forget. And they have this epic battle. Fangs come out. In the end, Logan comes looking. Akihiro, you get that butchering done. And they strung him up. He got his happy birthday present, though, I guess. That's sick. It's crazy. Like I said, not for the faintest of hearts. They be killing a lot of people in this. You could see it. He's bringing him up on, serving his head on a platter. He hates Wolverine in this one, like a burning passion. And then you see the North Pole just outside the X-Force. I know what you're thinking, right? You got murder on your mind, and this is all he wanted. He wanted to fuck with them before he takes them out. And he does. The army comes out. He goes into berserk mode, dude. Literally berserk. Well, he just killed his son. He goes berserk. But in the end, they do subdue him. And it's kind of funny. They bring adamantium cables, and they're going to string him up. He's still in a frenzy. So they got adamantium cables. They're going to string him up so that he can hear and see them kill the entire team. So they catch Laura, and that's Domino, talking and forming a plan. And they come in, and you're not going to fool Laura. You can tell. She's like, who are you? I can be anyone you want me to be. Whose face do you want to look into as you die? So, I don't know. He's one of my favorite Sabretooth, the changing Sabretooth. And then they all jump her. Like, X-23 has a strong... She's good. She's got a lot of ability. But they overpower her. They come in. They take over Sage and Black Tom. And they're taking over the whole base. And you can see him asleep. They're about to attack a sleeping person. But you find out, oh no, it's Colossus, man. He's gearing up. This nightmare's real. But they strung him up. I think Logan gets strung up a lot. People don't kill him. They string him up so he can just witness agony. It's crazy. And you can see they just start moving through the base. They start killing every single body they kill. No mercy. Kids, women. And Wolverine gets the smart idea. He's like, I can't do it. I can't take it. His bones might be sleeved with adamantium, but my joints are made of meat. And meat shreds. He just rips his arm out, shreds it all off, uses his claws then to butcher the rest of himself free, and falls to the ground, crawling back, trying to save everybody. But dude, they're all going after X-23. They capture her alive, even though Domino has a pretty good run. She gets one of them. Look at that. That's crazy. She does get one. Pretty boy. But in the end, they do end up subduing her and capturing her. And then you can see they've pretty much almost killed a good amount of the mutants. And this is right after the whole Krakoa incident with the Sentinels, where they already extinguished most of the mutants. So what he's doing really is just killing off the rest that they missed. But Wolverine catches up, and he's out for just blood. He's just out to kill them all. But what he finds is even Laura's gone. They kidnapped her, and everybody's dead. He's a little too late. That's a little throwback photo to when they were in the war together, Sabretooth and Wolverine. Oh, so they do a little throwback to when they were fighting and all the wars and stuff that they've done together, and just to show that they were friends at one point. They've lived this life together, but at some point one turned bad. So we have the Arctic present day, and they're kind of just arguing back and forth on what to do and who's the strongest, and they lost so many people that they shouldn't have lost. And he's like, but I'm top dog, so if you want to change that, then you have to beat me. And it does a little bit more flashbacks. Oh shit. And then you can see the weapon that they used was actually the head of Quentin. They locked him in, and they're using his psychic ability. That's wild. That's so sad. He was such a young kid. But then you can see that, oh, he wakes up from a bad dream where she sees the Sabretooth killing Quentin. She must be psychic too. I'm not actually sure. I gotta read that. So then they flash to a battleship named the Maroon, home base of the Exiles in the Caribbean Sea. And you can see Oya waking up from what seems to be, we're getting the vision of the Sabretooths just fucking eating Kid Omega. So Quentin dies, and she runs to go gather the team because she can sense that danger's coming. And she runs to gather the team to let everybody know what had happened. Then you can see that they got X-23 Laura locked up while they talk about how they're going to take out the top dog right in front of her. And she's egging them on. Different dimensions, that's right. Watch your mouth kind of thing. And I guess she should have, because they gas her. They end up gassing her to make her weak, so she can come in and, I don't know, beat her. Well, actually, she slices her jaw off. I'm telling you, diabolical book. And just walked out. And just, cat got your tongue, you savage. She really is a savage Sabretooth. Then you can see all the Exiles gather because they need to take out, honestly, everybody hates Sabretooth. And they were given this special seed, the kill seed, that was supposed to stop him. And you can see he formed all the Exiles, even Toad's in there. As they flash back again to the good old days of when they were friends. You can see him still dreaming of it. Better off dead, there's a way. Sounds like he's trying to keep a secret, but what? Looky. And he finds what he's looking for. He gave up some good information there, but that was part 43, and then we move on to part 44. There's only 2 more. Or part 4. I think there's only 2 more. So, part 44 starts off with everybody reeling from that battle who survived. He's pissed. Everybody's kind of upset. He's like, put my bones and stuff back on. I need to get out there. I need to get after him. And she's not happy, bro. So this is actually the mom of Dakin. She's even, because it's not fucking fair if that part of it, yeah, she goes off on him actually here. She's like, does it hurt? I hope it hurts deep down, because it's not fucking fair if that part of you heals too, the part inside of you. Dude, that cuts deep. But he's honestly, he's looking for blood. He's just out for blood at this point. Oh, you could see the Kappa Sabretooth got away, and they go after him as he's bleeding out. He's almost dead, and they just left him there. He attacks, I can't believe, he attacked Domino, got her gun. Thought she was supposed to be lucky. And starts just firing right at everybody. And Colossus and Wolverine are like, fastball? Hope they put this in Marvel Rivals. A little fastball throw. So this is in Marvel Rivals too. And he throws him at him. And he gets him, dude. It was and then he just fucking goes off. He's frenzy again. You can see it in his eyes. He's in another frenzy. And Domino's just like, I'm okay. You got to stop Logan. We need that dude alive. He's got to tell us some information. And he's got to restrain Logan behind his back, because he's not stopping. He's just in a crazy frenzy. They capture him, and then they start trying to interrogate him. But it turns out he has some kind of psychic block, and Sage can't get through. But someone does come through. Her name is Phoebe. And she's actually the daughter of Emma Frost. So she still has that strong psychic ability too. And she was actually dating Kid Omega, Quentin. And I think she found out that they killed him, and then they ate him. So she was not happy. She did not hold back. She's actually one of 5 sisters. I kind of thought that was funny too. A quintuplet with strong telekinetic powers. And then they're saying he goes back and forth with why there's such bad blood between them. How many fights and losses they've both had on both sides. He's won some, Logan's won some, and just all the hurt. And then you can see that he finally gets to open his birthday present from Laura, world's best dad. Overstatement of the century? Maybe. But we see that you're trying, and that means something. Happy birthday. XOX23, Laura, aka the best Wolverine. Yep. And he's like, yep, I gotta go get her. And even Phoebe can't get through his mental blocks. Why? They're still trying, but this Cap Sabretooth is relentless with his psychic barriers. He even takes her and pulls her in. This is what's happening in his mind. There we go. This is what happens in his mind. It's just a bunch of torture souls that he lives in. And he actually ends up almost getting her. But Domino says, fuck that, and shoots the dude in the head. I don't know if that kills him, though. Doesn't he revive? Maybe he's the one that doesn't regenerate. But it severed the connection long enough, but she got a glimpse of Quentin. I'm so sorry. He made me do it. So they get a glimpse of Quentin and know he's still alive, while Logan's still out on the hunt for all the Sabretooth. And he decides to go solo. He says nobody else needs to get hurt. That's part 44. So part 45, this is the last part of this book before part 2 of the whole Sabretooth War. So it starts off in the island nation of Krakoa. And you can see they made it through the Sentinels. He's got Quentin's head as they travel through the jungle, making their way to the secret underground bunker where he's forcing Quentin to use his powers at all times and all of this. And back on the ship, back on Station 5, those two, the Savage and the Camo, decide, hey, who's the one person that could take out the top dog? His son. So they dated. They end up going to track down his son, and he's like, how should... So he's the son of Mystique and Sabretooth. And he has no powers, but he hates all mutants. So he's like, maybe I should transform into Mystique to go see him, because he's going to hate seeing a Sabretooth. And she was like, she was a good mom to him. I don't know if she was or not. I don't know. And she was like, oh no. She raised him to be a sleeper cell terrorist. He blew up the White House. So that about tracks. Actually, I could see that. But you see him enter into the other dimension where they had previously sent him to lock him away. And then it goes back to the base of the X-Isles, where you can see them all making their way down to Krakoa, while still trying to pick up imagery to see if Quentin is alive. But then they're met with one of the Sentinels, and there's no escaping it, really. But you can see Sabretooth breaks into the lab, and this is actually Forge's lab. Forge was a very powerful technological mutant, and he ends up getting into a fight with a security guard that Quentin never even told him about. He was like, the emotion has 4 letters, I'll give you that. And then he just doesn't tell him and doesn't help him either because he has to fight him on his own. But he does eventually end up winning, and Forge has told him that the place that they're looking for is actually under Krakoa. That they're in the right place, but they just need to go down, and he can't get into the hatch. And he's trying to call back to base, but they're on their own little mission. And it seems like they actually got him and her mouth healed back. But they got him, and they leave. At least I think that's him. What happened to his face? All right. So then the exiles are having to make up a plan because the Sentinels breaking in on them fast. And their whole plan is like, hey, if they're all circling around this one island, maybe there's a limit to how long they can go. They're on a leash. So they test that theory by going out into space and dragging him out and then seeing, oh, he did. He stopped here, which means there's an area. And that one little Sentinel that got away was enough to let Logan slip in almost undetected, because he does get it almost undetected. Place is under heavy guard. But there's one bit of the island missing a sentry. Maybe they won't notice me. Damn, spoke too soon. But he takes the hit, but gets on the island and escapes for a moment. But Sabretooth smells them. He can tell the runt's coming. He could tell. And I don't think Sabretooth and Wolverine didn't know about Quentin and how he's using his abilities. So Quentin overtakes his mind right when he walks in and projects this whole illusion that they're back in the good old days and they're on another mission. About time you caught up. We're on a mission and there's no time to waste. Yeah, I'm here. And I just can't get my head on straight. I was somewhere else. What's the plan? Break in, smash, and grab. What are we grabbing? Can't wait for you to find out. So it starts out with like real world and then what Wolverine sees versus real world and how he's living in the past. You can see the old days, how they used to be. And this was all put on by Quentin over here and trapped as a head in a box. And he's still using all his powers and they're after this weapon right here. So you can see him descending. It's kind of funny. He's completely tricked Wolverine into believing that this is old times as they dive further and further in here. But really, they're just going to underwater of Krakoa to Forge's armory. And then you can see everybody's on their way. The whole island is swarming with Stark Sentinels, and you can see the exiles on their way over there to help Quentin, the head that's trapped, with the seed that's supposed to stop Sabretooth. But they make it there and they get under some pretty heavy fire, but then they realize, hey, they have to go underneath. They dive underwater. But just as it looks like Wolverine and Sabretooth arrive at the door. Wolverine helps him get in, still thinking it's like old times, and then they have to fight the guards. This is why he put him under the spell to begin with, because he knew he couldn't fight all of these guards that Forge had left behind to guard the armory. But with Wolverine's help, of course. So the exiles start to descend before they get trapped up and set behind schedule. And then it flashes too. You can see X-23, Laura, in her cell before just attacking one of the headless people at the Orchis Station 5. That's the Sabretooth home base. You can see she gets them pretty good. They go blow for blow, hit for hit. It does get bloody, but in the end, they do end up getting my girl, getting her back. But as you can see, she got what she needed, which was one of their collars. She is smart. Then you can see the exiles finally make it down to stop Sabretooth and Wolverine from breaking into Forge's tools. But honestly, Wolverine's still under a spell, and Sabretooth is powerful as ever and just ends up killing Toad right off the bat, throwing his body at them. And Logan, being under the guise that he is, ends up actually killing one of them. But it was enough to stop him, wake him up out of what he was doing. By then, it was kind of too late. He had already gotten the gun that he had came down there for, which was the depower gun, taking away his healing factor so that he can actually finally kill him. You're about to be nothing but a bad memory. That was part 46. Part 47. See the awesome little breakout art. X-23 versus Savage Sabretooth. Starts out in Orchis Station 5, cloaked in orbit over Krakoa. So this is where X-23 just broke out, and you can see that what she actually just got, the collar, is what can open it. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't take that with her. Hey, but they're headless. What can you do? And she's out. She immediately jumps out. She's gone. She climbs in the vents to get away. Figures, hey, if I kill enough of them, it'll clog up the system. Just starts killing. She is savage, man. She's definitely savage. And you can see this epic battle going on. Wolverine can't heal anymore. His healing factor's gone, but he's still got claws. So he's using them. But the exiles are also there too. And they see that, hey, it looks like Logan had killed one of our friends. And Wolverine, we lost Toad. They lost a lot of people. And she's like, I don't care if he was under a spell or not. He never meant to kill the Melter. And she's like, I don't care. She's going to kill him. They've lost so many people. This is after the whole Krakoa incident and M-Day, and it's a bunch. So they end up going after him, and you can see, Quentin flashing to his girlfriend Phoebe, trying to warn her, like, hey, I'm in trouble. I'm just ahead now, pretty much, and somebody can come get me because Wolverine needs help, and he's making him do something he doesn't want to do. And that would be right here. He loads him up and he fires it at him, but he didn't really want to kill him because it's still his mind, so he leaves him just barely breathing. I can smell that you ain't dead. Hear your shallow little breaths. So just before he can throw in the final finishing blow, she comes up and smacks him, puts the hurt on him. And even Quentin got in the, it doesn't matter what happens to me, because at this point, he's just trying to help his friends. And he gets Sabretooth and gets them just enough time for them to trap him with the Death Seed. And the Death Seed is just some great big flytrap, Venus flytrap, that stops him. So it seems like they got him. And then the other Sabretooth's plan, the Cloak Sabretooth and the Savage Sabretooth's plan, was to grab Sabretooth's son, Graydon, from the other dimension to come back to kill the Alpha Sabretooth, because they're tired of taking orders from him, and he's just smug, and he should have killed Wolverine when he had the chance. There's been a lot of conflict with this army of Sabretooths. But Grayson, he has no powers, and he hates everybody, all Sabretooths especially. But right when he gets off the bat, he comes out and he takes control of the entire army. Can tell that there's not as many as before, and I wonder why. That's because freaking Laura's literally just been going on this killing spree, just going through killing everybody. Can you blame her? I think they held her captive before finally meeting the final boss, the savage fucking Sabretooth that cut her jaw off in the beginning when she first got captured. And claws fly, bloodshed, things go down. But honestly, in the end, could it have ended any differently? X-23 ripping her in half. Like Laura. Jesus. Crazy. But the victory is short-lived as Graydon, as you see, shows up with the Cloak Sabretooth, about to take on Laura. And you can see Wolverine actually is starting to recover back aboard the ship with the exiles after they saved him instead of killing him. Saying, oh, without my powers, I'm going to need to get a weapon. I'm going to need to make a stop. There's Sabretooth. There's more. He's going to take on the army. He knows he's got to get a new suit and a weapon, and he knows just the place to do it. Part 48. I think there's like 50 parts to this. So it starts out, Wolverine still recovering, Sabretooth still trapped in the kill seed that was meant for him. Not quite dead, but trapped. As Logan's still reliving his past and everything that's happened. Everything that he's done to Sabretooth and that Sabretooth has done to him. Just reflecting on it after he has been traumatized or hypnotized before by Quentin. You can see Sabretooth still trapped as Laura's about to take on Graydon. She says, the X-Force is coming. I hailed them on the con stations already. And she says, what makes you think you'll live long enough to be rescued? And she's good, man. I tell you, she is good. She's like, I disabled your cloaking mechanism. You're seconds away from being attacked by Stark Sentinels. Right before she just freaking jumps. She leaps off the plane. No parachute, no nothing. She leaps right as the Sentinels pull up. You can see freaking Wolverine's hands aren't healing anymore from his claws popping out, so he has to get them bandaged. And they end up off the coast of Alaska, and they're kind of confused. What is he doing here? And they're unable to see what's going on because there's some kind of mental psychic block that I assume is coming from Graydon. And he just dives after the Stark Sentinels. He has no powers, but he has a ton of hate, and he has a lot of advanced tech. And he uses that tech to take over one of these Sentinels and uses it as an Iron Man suit. I think it's pretty badass. He's a cool villain. And you can see Laura, after she jumped out the plane, are we screwed? We might be screwed. As she's got to take time to heal because she just jumped out that plane, no parachute. You can see Wolverine and them flashing to Alaska where they come across bears. It's always Wolverine and bears, man. I tell you, Wolverine and bears. He's like, don't kill them. You're just animals. Just scare them away. Which is pretty much what they do. It's pretty funny. They don't kill him, but they scare him away. And they finally reach this X door. What's in it? We shall soon find out. Actually, just props to everybody getting ready to come back to Krakoa, get ready for the fight, and then bust out freaking... Look at that freaking suit, man. This adamantium armor. This is a Muramasa blade. I'm still hard to kill. Let's go find a fight. As you can see, freaking Quentin's still over here telling Phoebe, hey, you guys need to hurry. He's starting to break out. This ain't really working like it should have been. All right. Part 49. After all of this happened, this is what he's going through inside of this kill seed. This Venus flytrap that's got him trapped. So you can see he's in therapy office inside of it, where he actually ends up reliving all of his old kills through the eyes of the victims. Thinking that, and their whole thought was like, hey, maybe if he saw it from his eyes, eyes of his victims, like him charging at him, ready to kill himself, it might put a different perspective on it for him. So it goes through each one and reliving all of it, hoping he'd feel some sort of guilt. But then it flashes to Krakoa, where Brayden's tired of the other Sabretooth, who's basically useless at this point, and decides to kill him, before realizing that his suit is about to itself give out on him because he overridden it. So he decides to self-destruct it and kills all of the Sentinels. Even Laura is down here like, damn. He's got some power, man. For a dude with no powers, he's got some power. And not too long, everybody's showing up on Krakoa. Coming to, he's like, even Laura's like, oh, is that my team? They made it. You can see Colossus, Domino, Omega Red, Black Tom, everybody down there, all coming to rescue her. While Sabretooth is still reliving his trauma, going through therapy, all the people he's hurt, everything that he's done, kids, women, children, friends, everybody. He kills everybody, thinking like that he would change. Even here, they say, he says, no, Victor, I hope that you would experience what you've done to your victims. If you lived in their skin, it would shake free the best part of you. You wouldn't have done these things if you knew what you were putting others through. And then he looks at him, and he's like, I'm sorry, but do you know who I am? He's so evil, dude. Like I said, I don't know why they thought he would change. And just in time for Wolverine to show up back to Krakoa, to face Graydon on the beach with his new weapon and sword, while Graydon's waiting for him. Come down here, mutant. Let me show you what I can do. He hates all mutants, man. And then it cuts to him just laughing. He's like, you making me relive... All right. You making me relive them has had the opposite effect. It didn't make me feel sad. It got my blood flowing. I'm feeling vigorous. He loved it. And he breaks out, actually. That was it for him. He's done. He broke out. And not even that, he's already on his way. He's climbing up that water. Time to unleash hell. Well, he doesn't know it, but Wolverine's up top fighting his son. Well, Sabretooth's son. All right, part 50. Final part. All right. So it cuts to the beach. And Wolverine trying to reason with, listen, Graydon, you don't have to be like your father. All this other stuff. Trying to turn him. Maybe he's going to be a better person than Sabretooth. But instead, he ends up creating a bunch of Frankenstein Sentinels and to hold off the Exiles and the other teams from helping Wolverine as him and Wolverine duke it out in one last battle. But that is short-lived as Sabretooth shows up and kills his own son. Straight through the heart, literally. And taunts him. See that, kid? Your daddy did teach you something after all. And that kind of sets off Wolverine, dude. He was not happy. He was like, that was your son. He already killed Wolverine's son in the first book. And Sabretooth doesn't even care. His kid's laying dead right there that he killed him. Doesn't even care. The Sentinels are still fighting. They can't get to him to help Wolverine or kill Sabretooth. They're kind of surprised that Sabretooth is even out of this kill seed anyway. As Sabretooth leads him away from the beach, Wolverine, he starts running. Try to keep up, bud. And takes him and tries to lead him into this trap. And nobody really knows where they're going because he just keeps going further and further deeper. And even Wolverine, he's like, I don't remember seeing this tunnel here ever. Before it is revealed that they're actually going to where the Quiet Council had actually sealed Sabretooth in this pit. And this is where it started it all. See, it says, here we are, the Quiet Council, where it all began for me. They had trapped him there, and it actually gave him a bond with this pit. And he's using this bond to entrap and ensnare Wolverine now in this pit of fear as he gets dragged into it. And everybody else can't help him. The exiles and everybody else can't help him because they're still taking on these makeshift freaking sentinels that Graydon left behind. As Logan's just getting dragged down, his armor gets taken off, his sword gets taken away. They rip his armor off and everything. There's nothing left to protect me but me. And this pit manifests some of his old enemies and some of his old friends and makes him go through this whole trippy thing. Sabretooth shows up and starts cutting him down, but it's not too long before the rest of the gang shows up. And they actually subdue Sabretooth, and they're getting ready to kill him when Logan steps in and was like, this war is between the two of us, and he wants to finish it just the two of them. So they end up duking it out. He gets his powers back. It turns out that his armor wasn't just meant to protect him, it was meant to reactivate his mutant gene, bringing back his powers. And so he's like, do you hear that, Creed? You're getting all of me, and I'm taking all of you. And they go at it, back and forth, blow for blow. He's got the sword out, the claws out, and they go through it. Drawing blood, slashing, cutting. It goes on for a little bit. Back and forth between finally. He takes his hand before taking his life. He says, this is for my friends. This is for Krakoa. And you can see everybody he's killed in the blade coming down before he cuts him up and leaves him for good. Everybody's back. They killed him. And they killed themselves too. Then it cuts to Quentin finally getting to spend his last little bit of time with Phoebe. As she says it's time, and finally clicks his head off and lets him die in peace. And everybody's getting ready to go back to where they were and what they were doing as this all wraps up. They do throw in a little bonus comic that I think is actually kind of funny. It's about Wolverine and Jubilee just in a bar. And this guy's like, oh, I found something real nice. Something that would get me a lot of money. And it turns out this dude got a fucking Sentinel that crashed in his barn. And as soon as he shows it, of course, the Sentinel targets the mutants that he just brought in and starts trying to kill them. Actually, all three of them. But luckily, the Sentinel has been heavily damaged, so he just goes apeshit and kills it. Logan. But he's kind of confused because the guy was like, if it goes after mutants, why did it go after me? And he's like, bub, you've got one blue eye and one brown. Sentinel sensors are set for wide net. So he's saying he's pretty much a mutant too. It's kind of a mutant gene. As a thing finally blows up and he's like, oh, so I'm a mutant. He's like, yeah, but not particularly a useful one. So that's pretty cool. A nice little side story that they threw in there, along with all of the other Wolverines that there has been. Classic Wolverine, Army Wolverine, X-23, Weapon X, then the classic Patch Wolverine. Literally all of it. All of his adventures, all of his friends and fights, the whole Captain America, the Silver Samurai, everything. He's had such a long life with the Beast, Mega Red, Magneto especially, and all the friends that he's lost and all the friends he's had to kill and loves that he's lost. He's gone through a long, lonely life to still be here and still be fighting. And that's where it ends with him walking into a bar before trouble follows. Well, that was the Sabretooth War, Part 2, and the finale. So, yeah, thanks guys for joining in. Until next time.